Hey everyone, today we're going through my top 5 favorite Easter eggs in Dead by Daylight. Let's get into it. First off, we have the golden toolboxes. Ever since the Halloween event in 2017, golden toolboxes started appearing around each map. With each time they appeared, they slowly got harder and harder to find with each DLC release. These golden toolboxes don't seem to outright mean anything other than being a consecutive and connecting factor between every map in the game. You've likely seen them before, such as the more obvious and visible ones, such as the one on Haddonfield, which is simply located under a bench. When the Hawkins map was first released in September of 2019, a lot of people were having a pretty big struggle in trying to find where the new toolbox was. After some subtle hints, a room was found. A secret room, one that was only accessible by the nurse, which you had to teleport into. Inside this room were the words EGC, which was found out to stand for Endgame Collapse. Also on the whiteboard you would find what looked to be a chemical formula. The output of this formula resulted in gold, as in the element. Finally, that little string of bubbly looking things in the corner, which is a set of molecules, with the outcome being a combination of terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol, hopefully I've said this right, which makes the compound ethylene terephthalate, also known as polyester, which is a reference to Dead by Daylight YouTuber and fog whisperer Polyester, who is well known for cracking DBD Easter eggs and discovering secrets. He made a really good video explaining this whole thing in more detail. I'll link it in the description, it's well worth the watch. Next up we have some early concept and game art that can be found actually in-game. You can find these on Haddonfield, in all of the opened houses where they are scattered across the walls. There's a whole range of early concepts for maps like Coldwind, all to what seems to be game features, such as the hatch I believe. The goal of this I guess is to just show the original ideas that were developed upon, the genesis of the game. Let's take a look at some now. Okay, so for this one we're going over to the Sanctum of Wrath map, which is located on Yamaoka estate. If we go over to the main temple structure, in the center we're going to see that there are these statues scattered around the entire base of the main structure. These statues are all the same and have these strange bobbleheads. The thing about these statues is that they aren't really statues, they actually move. But these statues would actually turn their heads to face you when you aren't looking in their direction. A little bit like the weeping angels from Doctor Who. However, when you look at them directly, they will stay still like statues. This is super cool, and a good one because it can be easily experienced in-game. Furthermore, in regards to Yamaoka, we have this shrine which can be found on the original family estate map. If you go into the main building, you will find the shrine here. On it you will see both paintings of the Oni as well as Oni's mask. Now these were here before the Oni released in December of 2019, so this was almost like a mini Easter egg hinting at the expansion and what was to come for the Yamaoka family storyline. This Easter egg arrived with the release of the Silent Hill DLC during the Year 4 anniversary event, and it's the Konami Code. The Konami Code, if you didn't know, is a famous gaming code that was originally made famous by the Konami published game Contra, which would give you 30 extra lives in game after inputting a code with your controller. Of course, Silent Hill is also a Konami published game, so this became available to do in Dead by Daylight at the home screen. First of all, you do have to have Pyramid Head selected at the main menu for this to work. This also means that you need to own Pyramid Head in order to obtain this charm. Once you have him selected at the home screen, you're going to press WWSSADAD, right mouse button, left mouse button, enter. You have to do this in quick succession, and after you have done, this tune will play. You will further get the reward of the Vic Viper charm. This charm will appear in your inventory once you have completed this. It looks really cool, and it is a reference to another Konami published game, Gradius, wherein which the Vic Viper is the protagonist spacecraft. So yeah, another pretty cool one, and one that you can actually earn in game, which is really cool to see. Okay, so this final one is looking at the entity's language, which at first glance seems to be nothing, complete nonsense, that someone has come up with by slamming their head into a keyboard. But this perception was changed upon the release of the anniversary weapons handed out to everyone for free, available on characters such as the Trapper in the form of the bolo machete, for example. On the bolo machete it reads, Anoig, I don't know, just read it on screen, which in the language Urdu allegedly reads, "This is a sign of the fact that this is the case," and then separately, "I'm sure you were here with skill." The overall idea being presented, when put into a sentence, is something like, "If you figure this out, it is a sign of skill." So this language Urdu, it has some ties to French, and of course the Dead by Daylight developers' behaviour are French also. So it's very possible that much of the entity's language is largely structured on French itself, or Urdu. Either way, it seems to mainly be a simple nod to those who have decided to go and actually try and make sense of what the entity is saying. I've also read threads about perks like Whispers, where allegedly the entity's voice translates to phrases such as pain, loss, and maybe even refer to family members such as father, potentially in reference to some of the killer's backstories, such as the Trapper who had a painful life filled with loss due to his father. This is just speculation though, whereas the anniversary translations seem much more plausible and accurate due to their larger and more coherent sentences, and the striking outcome of it saying, "If you've made it this far, you have skill." It seems a little too good to be true. I know this last one is pretty debatable, because I'm just going off some forum posts, but this seems pretty plausible to be the case in regards to the entity's language. Alright, I think that's going to do it. I do hope you enjoyed. Thanks, and goodbye.